Have you ever watched a movie and just thought, I have to go there? I mean, what if you could instantly turn that feeling into a real travel plan? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today with a startup called Kultrip, which is betting that the stories we love can totally reshape the way we travel.
The whole idea behind Kultrip really kicks off with this one number. A whopping 66% of travelers say that movies and TV shows actually influence where they decide to go on their next trip. And look, this isn't some tiny niche thing. We're talking about a massive force that's shaping how people travel today.
This whole phenomenon even has a name. It's called set jetting. It's this booming trend of people wanting to literally step into the worlds they see on screen. This isn't just about sightseeing. It's about experiencing a story firsthand. And that right there is the massive market opportunity Kultrip is jumping on.
But there's a pretty big problem. There's this huge gap between, feeling inspired by a movie and actually booking the trip. And for travel agencies, man, this is a major headache when it comes to conversions.
The problem is really stark when you look at the numbers. Think about it. For every 100 people who land on a travel agency's website, a staggering 98 of them just leave without booking anything. Agencies are stuck with these incredibly low conversion rates, a ton of unqualified leads, and honestly, really outdated tools, like boring contact forms that just don't capture that initial spark of excitement.
So how in the world do you fix this? Kultrip's hold is that the answer isn't, better forms or more annoying pop-ups. Nope. The secret sauce, they believe, is all about harnessing the power of emotional storytelling.
So their vision is pretty cool. They want to build this AI-powered platform that stops selling trips and starts selling experiences. The real goal here is to turn those passive dreamers just scrolling a website into genuine, qualified leads who are emotionally invested and totally ready to book an adventure.
Okay, so how does this whole storytelling engine actually work in practice? Well, Kultrip's platform is basically built on 3 core pillars, and each one is designed to serve a different piece of the travel puzzle. First up, they have a B2B widget. This is a tool that travel agencies can literally embed on their own websites to capture leads by offering these cool, story-inspired guides. Next, there's a platform for you and me, the regular traveler, where we can buy our own personalized guides directly. And finally, they've got an API, which is basically the engine for bigger partners to plug this storytelling tech into their own systems. It's a really smart, multi-pronged attack that kind of covers all the bases.
Now, the magic behind all of this? It's the AI engine, of course. It uses large language models to whip up these unique guides, which slashes the usual costs of creating content. But the real game changer here is the hyper-personalization. The AI is smart enough to match what a user wants with an agency's specific travel packages. And because the whole thing is built on an AI-first architecture, it's designed to scale globally with insane efficiency. We're talking an API cost of just 20 cents per guide. That's incredible.
All right, so we get the product. It's cool. But how do they actually make money? Well, Kultrip's approach is this really clever hybrid revenue model that's built for both strength and growth.
They basically got 3 different income streams going. For the travel agencies, it's a SaaS model, a monthly subscription plus a small fee for every lead they get. For regular travelers, it's super simple, 10 euros for a guide. And for their big strategic partners, they use an API model where they just pay per request. This whole setup, it makes them really resilient and gives them a bunch of different ways to scale.
And for those travel agencies, their first customers, the pitch is an absolute no-brainer. Why? Because the platform has already proven it can double their website conversion rates. I mean, with that kind of demonstrated ROI, why wouldn't you adopt their widget if you're an agency looking for better leads?
Okay, so we've got a clear problem, a really smart solution. So what's next? Let's take a look at their pitch and what they're promising for the future.
And wow, their 12-month plan is definitely ambitious. It kicks off with getting 200 agencies on board right in the first month. Just a few months later, by month 4, the goal is to lock in their first 2 big API partners. From there, they'll shift focus to ramp up those direct-to-consumer sales, all leading to this massive end goal, hitting over 1 million euros in total revenue within that first year alone.
And their projections, they really tell that classic startup story, right? Year 1 is all about validating the model, making sure it works. But then, look at year 2. It's just a rocket ship, scaling up super fast to high profitability. They're actually forecasting a 68% EBITDA margin, which is huge. And they believe it's their AI-first, super efficient model that makes this kind of explosive growth even possible.
So, to make that whole plan a reality, they need to close a funding gap. They're looking for a pre-seed investment of just 40,000 euros.
And listen, this money isn't for fat salaries or fancy office. The three main partners are already covering 80% of the total budget themselves with their own work and equity. This ask, it's purely for the essentials, the cash they need for tools, marketing, and the basic operational costs to get this engine firing on all cylinders.
So, when you boil it all down, Kultrip is making a huge bet. They're betting that a compelling story is the most powerful way to bridge that gap between a spark of inspiration and the final click to book now. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. In our world that's so driven by data and algorithms, could a simple, good story actually be the ultimate sales tool?